There's a moment every cat owner knows, that strange, almost uncomfortable feeling that you're being watched. Not in a scary way, in a judging way. You're sitting there, maybe scrolling through your phone, maybe laughing at something that has nothing to do with them, and then you feel it. You look up, and there they are. Your cat. So silent. Eyes locked onto you like you've just committed a personal betrayal. At first, it feels silly to even think it. Jealousy? From a cat? That quiet, independent little creature who acts like they don't need anyone? It doesn't add up, or at least that's what we tell ourselves. But then things start to happen. They weren't sitting in your way before, but now suddenly, every step you take is blocked. You try to walk across the room and out of nowhere they appear, placing themselves right in your path like a living obstacle. You pause. They don't move. They just look up at you, calm but firm, as if to say, "Where do you think you're going without me?" And maybe you laugh it off. Maybe you bend down and give them a quick scratch behind the ears. But something about it feels intentional, because it keeps happening. It's not just the walking either. The timing. It always happens when your attention is somewhere else. When you're heading toward your phone, toward another person, toward anything that isn't them. That's when they show up. Not randomly, not playfully, precisely, like they've been waiting. And slowly you begin to realize, this isn't just a coincidence. This is communication. Cats don't interrupt you because they're bored. They don't throw themselves into your space without reason. When they step in front of you like that, they're doing something very specific. They're inserting themselves into your world, into your movement, into your focus, because something has shifted and they've noticed. They always notice. That's the part most people underestimate. Cats may act detached, but they are incredibly aware of your patterns, your habits, your attention. They know when your voice softens for someone else. They know when your hands are busy with something new. They know when the energy you used to give them is being shared. And when that happens, something inside them changes. Not dramatically, not loudly, but quietly, deliberately. It might start with that simple act of blocking your path. A small, almost harmless interruption. But beneath it there's a message. A quiet insistence. Look at me instead. And if that doesn't work, they try something else. Because cats don't give up easily when it comes to the things they care about. Especially you. There's this common belief that cats are distant, that they don't form deep emotional bonds the way dogs do. But that belief begins to fall apart the moment your cat starts behaving differently. Not randomly. Not wildly. But in ways that feel targeted, almost strategic. Like they're trying to pull you back. Back into their world. Back into the connection you didn't even realize had shifted. And the truth is, what looks like independence on the surface often hides something much deeper underneath. Something quieter. Something more vulnerable. Because when a cat feels like they're losing your attention, they don't throw tantrums. They adapt. And sometimes, they fight for you in the only ways they know how. And sometimes that fight doesn't look like distance at all, it looks like love. Too much of it. The kind that feels sudden, overwhelming, almost out of character. You're sitting there, minding your own business, and out of nowhere, your cat is on you. Not near you. Not beside you. On you. Pressing into your chest, your face, your hands. Pawing at you like they're trying to hold you in place, like if they loosen their grip for even a second you might disappear. They're purring louder than usual. Rubbing against you again and again, not giving you space to breathe, let alone focus on anything else. And at first it feels sweet. Maybe even special. You think, wow, they're really affectionate today. But then you notice something. It only happens when your attention has been somewhere else. Maybe you were talking to someone new. Maybe you brought another pet into the room. Maybe you were just lost in your phone a little longer than usual. Whatever it was, something shifted. And now, here they are, pouring everything into you all at once like they're trying to remind you of something you forgot. Or maybe, someone you forgot. Because this isn't just affection. It's a response. Cats don't suddenly change their entire personality for no reason. When a normally calm, independent cat turns into this intense, attention-seeking shadow, it's not random. It's not a mood swing. It's a signal. A quiet kind of urgency. A need to reconnect. And the more you think about it, the clearer it becomes. They're not just being loving, they're trying to reclaim something. Trying to reestablish that bond in the only way they know how. Getting closer. Louder. More present. Until you can't ignore them anymore. And if that still doesn't work, that's when things start to break. Not emotionally, at least not in a way you can see. But physically. Tangibly. In ways that force your attention whether you like it or not. It usually happens when you're focused. Deeply focused. Maybe you're cooking or working or just enjoying a quiet moment to yourself. Everything feels calm, steady, under control. And then suddenly, a sharp crash. You freeze. You turn around slowly, already knowing what you're going to see, but still hoping you're wrong. Something has fallen. Something you cared about. Maybe not deeply, maybe just a simple mug or a small object, but enough to disrupt the moment completely. And there they are. Your cat. Sitting nearby. Watching. Not startled. Not scared. Not confused. Just aware. As if they knew exactly what would happen. Because they did. Cats don't knock things over by accident as often as we like to believe. Yes, they're curious. Yes, they like to explore. But timing matters. And when that timing lines up perfectly with the moments you're not paying attention to them, it stops being random. It becomes a message. A loud one. If quietly stepping into your path didn't work, if overwhelming you with affection didn't pull you back, then this will. Because now you have to look. You have to react. You have to come back into the moment, their moment. And in that instant they've won. Not out of spite. Not out of malice. But out of need. Because for them, attention isn't just a bonus. It's reassurance. It's connection. It's proof that the bond they feel still exists on your side too. And when that proof starts to feel uncertain, they don't sit back and accept it. They push. They interrupt. They demand. In ways that seem mischievous on the surface, but underneath carry something much deeper. Something almost human. But not every reaction is loud. Not every cat fights for your attention by getting closer, or knocking things over, or forcing their way into your space. Some do the exact opposite. They disappear. Not physically, not completely, but just enough for you to feel it. The absence. The shift. The quiet space where they used to be. You call their name, and nothing happens. No soft footsteps. No flick of a tail. No slow, graceful walk into the room like they used to. It's strange because they're still there. You'll catch glimpses of them sitting at a distance, watching, always watching. But when it comes to you, they've pulled back. Deliberately. They don't greet you anymore. They don't come when you sit down. They don't curl up beside you like they used to. Instead, they stay just out of reach, close enough to see you but far enough to avoid you. And the most unsettling part? They act completely normal otherwise. They eat. They play. They groom themselves like nothing's wrong. To anyone else, they look perfectly fine. But with you, something has changed. It's not sadness. It's not fear. It feels personal. Like you've been quietly pushed out of their world. And in a way you have. Because sometimes when a cat feels replaced, when they feel like your attention has shifted somewhere else for too long, they don't chase after it. They withdraw it. They stop offering themselves so easily. They stop responding the way they used to. Not because they don't care anymore, but because they do. Because something inside them has decided, if the connection isn't secure, it's safer to step back than to keep reaching forward. It's their version of silence. And it can be louder than anything else. But then, there's one final behavior. One that feels confusing, frustrating, even shocking when it happens. Because it crosses a line. It's not subtle. It's not quiet. It's something you can't ignore no matter how hard you try. You come home after a long day. Maybe you've been busy. Maybe your routine has changed. Maybe your attention has been somewhere else for longer than usual. You don't think much of it until you notice the smell. You freeze. You follow it slowly, already feeling that sinking realization in your chest. And then you see it. On your bed. On your clothes. Somewhere deeply personal. And suddenly it doesn't feel like an accident. Because it isn't. When a cat chooses a place like that, it means something. Not in a cruel way. Not in a vengeful human way. But in a way that's instinctive. Emotional. Deeply tied to how they understand the world. To them, scent is everything. It's identity. It's comfort. It's belonging. And when something disrupts that, when your smell changes, when new scents appear, when your attention shifts and your presence feels different, they respond in the most powerful way they know how. They mark it. They reclaim it. They try to bring things back to how they were, or at least how they felt. Because in their world, you're not just someone they live with. You're part of their territory. Part of their safety. Part of their emotional home. And when that feels uncertain, they don't sit and process it the way we do. They act. In ways that feel confusing, dramatic, even unfair at times. But underneath it all, there's a truth that's hard to ignore. Your cat isn't being difficult. They're responding. To change. To distance. To the quiet fear that something they depend on might be slipping away. And maybe the most surprising part of all this isn't that cats can feel something like jealousy. It's that they care enough to show it.